I didn't go to the Women's March 2020 this weekend because the Women's March claims to support women, but which women do they actually support? They claim they support all women except preborn women in the womb, pro-life women, conservative women, Christian women, Trump-supporting women, pro-Second Amendment women, all the women who have jobs thanks to President Trump's economy, pro-Israel women, and the list goes on and on and on. If you're one of those women, the Women's March doesn't care about you. And combining unborn women, pro-life women, conservative, Christian, pro-Israel, pro-Second Amendment women, that's the majority of women in the United States, and the Women's March rejects us. Here are the facts. The majority of women in our nation reject the abortion ideology of the Women's March. 77% of American women want abortion banned in the second and third trimester. More women than men want abortion restricted to just the first trimester. 59% of American women believe abortion is morally wrong. And yet, the Women's March wants people to hashtag shout your abortion. They want abortion legal up until the moment of birth for any reason. And if you and I and the majority of women in America reject that radical stance, well, the Women's March thinks you're not a real woman unless you support the radical leftist ideology on abortion, which ends the lives of 400,000 unborn women every single year in the United States. How is that pro-woman? In fact, the Women's March this year was actually anti-woman because the Women's March claimed they are also pro-trans women. Remember, trans women are biological men who identify as women. And of course, we should treat trans people with dignity and respect and equality under the law. But the trans ideology is harmful to biological women. And yet the Women's March is peddling the trans ideology and ignoring all the women whose privacy is violated, who are unsafe in locker rooms and restrooms and dormitories with biological males, who are forced to compete in athletic events with people born male, who were fired from their jobs for stating that men can't be women biologically, whose achievements are obliterated by men masquerading as women because they feel female. How is that pro-woman? Thanks, but no thanks. The Women's March does not speak for me. In fact, the Women's March doesn't speak for the majority of women in our nation. And as for me, I'll march for life instead.